2 of our HLM 15 AI 1 Human Sim League, and today we are doing the most important rounds in the sim. Yesterday in this league we did round 1. It was a pretty important round with all 16 teams choosing one. We ranged from Connor McDavid to defensemen like Rasmus Dahlin and ended off the round with David Pastrnak. But not one goaltender went. In a standard NHL team, there are 23 picks. We have one. Alright, 3 are scratches, which leaves us till 20. Today, of the 35 picks, we will be simming picks 2 to 20. These picks will be influential in the team because not only are you picking defense, like we have here, and offense like we have here, but we have goaltenders. With the $95 million salary cap, we are looking for these people to manage top-tier goaltenders along with superstars like McDavid and McKinnon so that they become a championship-winning team. Many of these AI have made it clear that they are in a win-now situation. Like our AIs here, in which we have ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot are some of the 3 that did say that they are in a win-now situation. Anyway, all of these teams have been debriefed, and while we're not going to show you every pick, we are going to show you important ones, great players, players stolen at the pick, should have gone way earlier, or people who should have gone much later, in my opinion. And for the first pick, we have DuckDuckGo. So I sent the same message to everybody. I'm just going to show you Copilot. The round 1 recap. We sent it to everybody. Some people made their picks already, which are going to need to be changed as they are not on the clock yet. And some people are ready for round 2, as shown here. Our first pick will go to DuckDuckGo, and they have made their pick already. It is an interesting one. They picked Rickard Rakell. Alright, Rickard Rakell is going to be the first pick for this draft, and let's do it. Alright, after some overall changes, not changes, but filtering through the overall and sorting out positions, we have finally found Rickard Rakell, and he will go to the Ducks. Now switching back to all positions, the next pick for the second round will go to the Kimmy Kraken. I was not going to show this pick as I didn't think it would be interesting. I thought we would continue our simming with the centers and stuff, but no. For the first pick as a goaltender in this league, we have, and where'd he go? Igor Shesterkin going to the Kimmy Kraken. Now, in some cases, as you can see here, you have people who have 0 years and 0 on their salary. That's what Shesterkin wants. That means his contract is over, and the Kimmy Kraken, during this year's re-signing phase, will need to re-offer them a contract. Alright, so most of these rounds were simmed. Not many of these people made some insane moves, but I will highlight some players here. So, for the first round, we saw 1 to 13 yesterday. So we're going to start with the end of the second round. Highlighted off with Stutzel. And the second round ended off with, let's see down here. Yep. Ended off right here with ChatGPT selecting Jake Sanderson. In the midst of this second round, you have Schaefer as defenseman, Suzuki, a great forward, and in the 21st pick, Kirill Kaprizov just out of top 20, in which I thought he was going very, very high in this top 20. Making our way over to the next round, round 3 of the draft, pick 32 to 48. It started with Carlson, pick 33, and ended with Alex DeBrinknet. This is where people started picking their goaltender. We have Hellebuck, you can see here, Vasilevsky, and Sorokin. Also went Ottinger in this round, but you can also see some young guys like, Bennett Seneke. Leo Carlson's another young guy. Logan Cooley's another young guy. And you had some of your veterans in here as well, like, Ryan Hart, who won 2 Stanley Cups for the Florida Panthers, and stuff like that. In the next round here, we have, where'd they go? Yes, here we go. DuckDuckGo leading off with Nakis, a steal of a pick. Down here, we're going a little bit farther. And you know what, actually, guys? I think in this video, we're going to sim the rest of the draft completely. Every single thing. So, we have Frendell going. Kachuk out of the top 50. Wallstedt, the first goaltender outside the top 50 at pick 51. Luukkonen, point. And rounding off this round, we have Brandon Hagel, Noah Dobson, Seth Jarvis, and Cutter Gauthier. Starting the next round, we have Logan Thompson, another great goaltender, going to the ChatGPT's team. Yamachuk, who just rounded off our top 75. Gustafson in that 75. Aho and Faber, I genuinely thought would go earlier. But 82nd, Sandy and Pelika. Alright, that's it. We have two 80s going back to back. These guys looking for goaltenders who will show up. Goaltender and a couple of forwards who show up. Maybe have some time in the AHL, especially with the first pick of the next round. Dr. going Ryder McQueen, 74 overall. And that round was not much, honestly. A couple NHL players, Darren Radish, Dylan Larkin, rounding it off with Alex Tuck. I also had Konechny in there. Rounding off the top 100 in this round, we had Swayman, Askarov. Crazy that these two go back to back. Kosa, probably going to be on my AHL team, but he had elite potential. And I think by the time he comes up there, my starting goaltender will definitely be of age to retire. Philip Forsberg rounding out our top 100. Other than that, in the second 100, you had some great players like Scheifele, Crosby, Wolf, Eriksson Ek, Matthew Nyes, Mark Stone, Trevor Zegras, Panarin, and Michkov, all going in 3 picks. Zibanejad, 2 under that. Vince Dunn. And rounding out our 150 pick, Luke Envashelia. Matejchuk, 151. You have some... So the thing is, with the 16-team league, you have some huge names going late in the rounds, like... Well, I wouldn't say Gabe Perreault, but he's going to be up there sooner or later, hopefully in this sim. But you have people going late rounds like Dobish, Cooley, who some people would pick definitely higher. Eklund, Dylan Cousins, a veteran. JJ Peterka would definitely go higher if this was a real NHL. Devontae's. Congrats on his retirement, by the way. Kyrou, almost at pick 200. Pick 200, you have Braden Schneider off the New York Rangers into co-pilot's team. And you have Luke Hughes going 203rd. Lafreniere, 210th, the second pick of that round. I picked Vladar. He's going to be a great goaltender for me. I have a good feeling he's my backup, though. I don't really remember what I picked as goaltender. My team was not really centralized on that. And then we have some of the rest goaltenders. Vejmelka, Trouba, 244. When some of these people don't even have NHL time above him. That's going to be a big one as well. We keep scrolling down a little bit. We have Stenberg, Nadeau, Parayko, 268, the 268th pick. One pick above him was a guy 8 overall lower than him. Granted, Parayko may not be in his prime for a little bit, but these AI have very different ways of making their picks. And Parayko went to Notebook, and I remember talking to them about this pick. He asked for the top 3 available. I put Parayko up there because he asked for defenseman, and he was very confused, stating that I'm very surprised he dropped out of the 250, even out of the 200. Seems insane to me. But now we move on. We keep going. We just did the first 20 rounds. I'm going to do the next 15 in a second. This is where we start seeing the end of the NHL guys. We have Carlson, who may retire soon, but that's a veteran depth to Poe's team. Wenberg to Vancouver. Malkin, Olmark, Romanov. And the last person in the 20th round, what I expected to be the last NHL team, Vincent Trocheck, but right before him, Rupe Hintz. 287s overall, going one after a person who is a 68 overall. Alright, let's sim to the rest of the draft. And, hold on, I forgot to see who's up. ChatGPT, you are up. Alright, pick 321 went, and Marco Rossi went with Trocheck and Hintz, but a couple picks after, a 68 overall, top 4 potentially player. This draft is getting pretty insane. This is where the AI started to go weird, bonkers a little bit, because they're thinking of players like Malinsky. Ehlers dropped down to 340. They were very confused. Cam York. Comesso was picked, and Claude was very eager to pick him at 351. He thought he would surely go in the 350, but this is going to be his AI goaltender. McMahon was my pick in this round. Montour was right after. We have McTavish and the bruiser Tony DeAngelo going back to back, all the way down to 380. We have Eli Tolvanen under Stuart Skinner. I didn't think Skinner would be very high, and he was not. He was picked 378, but it's still surprising to see people taking goalies that may not be AHL goalies this far down, especially with the second pick, 18th overall being Igor Shesterkin, and now that's 18. This is almost 380. You're at Stuart Skinner. Nedeljkovic, speaking of goaltenders, going a little bit lower, 393. Lowry, Capo Caco, Riley Grigg, some of the only NHL players I've seen so far, and as we do that, we see another one, Coronado, going after the 400s. This was a 560 pick draft, so we do have a little bit longer to go. Hedl is another big one. Philip Hedl going 420. Injury riddled, yes. 83 overall currently. Top 6 unlikely, but maybe he makes a splash for his team. John Gibson, Carter Hart going back to back to Notebook LM and Vancouver. That could be interesting to see how those two get along. Will they be starting goaltenders for the NHL? Will they be for the AHL? You have Brady Shea, Montembeault coming in. Ovechkin, Alex Ovechkin, the man who broke the goal record, went 441st overall. That's insane to me. Tavares, Stamkos, Pedersen. We're getting to the 456 is when the AHL starts doubting itself. Claude, I remember when he made the Stamkos pick, wanted me to send the entire draft to make sure I wasn't lying, and they were sending me another pick because I did tell them I was participating. And he got a little confused, a little weary, but when he said it, when he looked at it, it was good. 87 overall, Stammer went to his team just inside of the 450. Speaking of pick 450, Patty Kane, again to Claude. Claude with back-to-back veterans. Who knows, maybe if they make the playoffs, a veteran presence is what they're looking for. We go a little farther, we have Lundqvist, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Matt Zuccarello, 468. Stolarz, 475. Edstrom. As we hit the 500s, we're seeing young players like Laba. But then we see some olds mixed in, like Letang, Duclair, and Joseph and Nunez, the goaltender, rounds up the top 500. After the 500, you still see a decent amount of young guns. You got Robertson, Fortescue, back-to-back players who are on the Rangers. You go a little bit far, Leo Carlson. And then after that, you see a couple players, Boone Jenner, Corpus Salo. But now we're starting to get to the tail end of this draft, all right? These players are likely going to be AHL, except Doan and Kadri. Two high mid-80s picks here, late in the draft. And that is it. Pick 560 goes to DuckDuckGo's AI, picking Sealer. And right before this video ends, there is one thing I'd like to show you. Every team's roster. Now this is how it will look like, okay? We have the best available lines. They may make their own though, I'm not sure. Injured players, scratched players, and how is it going right here? So, post Patriots, this was the first team I looked on, did want to go heavy offense, alright? They picked heavy, Byfield, Horvat, Raymond, Knight is their starting goaltender, and they picked for their first or second round, Quinn Hughes. Now these guys are going to be good for them. Issue is, they got a couple issues defensively. Falk will be there by the time the season starts. Also, contract-wise, they are good. They have $28 million in cap. Now, let's check out my team. Actually, you know what? We're going to go top to bottom. We're going to skip over Poe when we get there, though. The ChatGPT Arctic Foxes have chosen a balance of players. Connor McDavid's going in. Tuck. Now, some of these players' contracts do expire. I do think McDavid's expires. Carlson may expire. They will need to re-sign them before this starts, but $37 million in cap should be plenty. Their offense is looking good. We have them ranked as a contender in this league. For their AHL team, we're not going to look at that yet. I'm not going to focus on AHL team until the second season on our sim, because the AI chose to not fully customize them yet. We will get to it later. And this is the draft. You're not trying to focus on AHL yet. You're not trying to focus on your farm squad. If you were, we really wouldn't have some of these older players like Ovechkin, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Maybe they retire in another world. Who knows? Next, we're going to have Duck Legacy. This is just alphabetical. This is not anything. Freddie Anderson's their starting goaltender. Zuccarello, Lundell, while battling some injuries, will be back before the regular season starts. Their forward core is very good. Very good. One of these two players may be scratched. Maybe it'll be one of these two guys. He likely will be a scratch. But overall, looking very, very good. Next is the Garden State Meta Ice Goblins. This team is interesting real quick. Due to their goaltender, Pyotr Kochetkov, being injured. This is September 1st. If you are injured in September 1st, you may not make it to the NHL until, he says 60 days. That's November. That is November for a team whose status is elite, as it says here. I don't know what we're going with elite exactly, but who knows? Contracts do look good, though. They have a nice cheap squad, $55 million in cap, can do whatever they want. Of course, some of these players are expiring at the end of the year, almost every single one, exactly. McLeod, Geeky, Lindholm, Faber, a couple of the players that aren't. Slavin as well. But even him, he may not be back until maybe a week into the season, which won't hurt him much unless he gets set back. But next is the Gemini City. Now, this team is a balanced team, but they have him as a pretender. I think that this guy's done for his career. I don't even know why they drafted him, but I think they're even a little bit less of a pretender. What, you have a good first line and a center who doesn't even play center. Two lefty on the same line, only two righty in your entire roster, but you have a good goalie lineup. I'm not mad at the goalie lineup. Tarasov's a very capable backup. I enjoy watching his play very much in the actual NHL. Grok is the next team we'll be looking at. Grok wanted to go very top-heavy. Draisaitl, Rantanen, Bernier, Greer, Tolvanen, Nadeau. Now, they did get a third line in there. Issue is, they're all injured. This guy's out another month and a half. That brings us to halfway through the first month of the regular season. 75 days, 82 days, 39 days. Goaltending, not bad, but defense lacking. Next team we're going to look at is the Houston. Some good balance here, especially with these players once they come back off of injury. Everybody here coming off of an injury, importantly. Contender, definitely, I must say, but who knows really where they're going to go. The Kimi Kraken are the next team. A little bit light here, but that's because of all the injuries. Again, these players' injuries are some game sims, some real. The AIs were made note of that, told the exact day, September 1st, and how long it would take. They were okay with it. Okay. Other than that, this is, honestly, to me, they're not a pretender. When these guys come back, realistically November, except this guy, realistically November, they're going to be a contender. They're going to make a push. You're going to see them going from pretender to contender, hopefully later on. The New York Magic, my team. I decided to go a little top heavy on the offense, but balance out my defense. What I did make a mistake was goaltending. I sent me in for a long off. I forgot to look at his injuries. 232 days. He's injured. That's not good. I'm going to make a couple moves. I'm going to have a couple players, or a couple AIs make a couple moves. Free agency's right here. If we go to goaltender, Markstrom's available. Bobrovsky's available. I saw some names, Lindholm, Huberdeau, Verhaeghe. But free agency is going to be our next video when we sim to the preseason. Now, back to my team. Makar was my first overall pick. We have Raging Tage up here as well. These guys, he was going to be a scratch with this guy. Engvall, I also didn't look at it. He's done for the season, which kind of sucks. But we have the room. All right, the AHL squad is available. Our AHL squad right here is a couple of, honestly, nobodies. But that's okay. Back to the NHL. I'd just like to mention, one quick thing. In the next video, it is not only going to be free agency. Remember when I told you people who had zeros on their contract? They're UFAs. Alright, I have Dobson, Radish. I told you I went defense heavy. That's where I went with my picks. Now I do need to sign them, of course. But as you can see here, this is where it really balances out. 53 million in cap. I have. Next video, it's going to be all about getting players, free agency. Do you like your roster? Do you not like your roster? Where are you going to go? It says retooling for me. I feel like I'm not going to retool. My goaltender is my biggest issue at an 82 overall. But we can see here, where'd it go? Sorry, contracts. We're only going to go with goaltenders. I can sign Vladar. I do think he's a very capable goaltender and an 85 with the starter potential. He is 28. I have a good feeling he's going to carry my team a little bit, make us what we need to be, okay? Back to lineup, enough talking about my team. We are going to go to the Notebook LM Navigators. Lining up with Kirill Kaprizov, Zach Werenski. This is some insane players. Their depth lacking a little bit. I would love to see where these guys go. I think they're going to be very interesting going into the first free agency contract sim. Perplexity. They decided to go very bottom heavy. You see, they had Miller. He's injured. But that's only 2 lines for them. Defense, they have a full 3 lines. He goes here. Chernak goes here. 3 goaltenders, very capable. Forsberg is going to need to go to the AHL. Very good team. Next, Pies Puckbots. This team is weird in its own way. Injuries riddle them, of course. 9 injuries, not something you want. But when these guys get back, oh my god, they're going to have a powerhouse. Their first 3 lines, great. These guys, they just match up here. I mean, their AHL squad on defense alone is going to be great. Maybe they mess up a backup goalie. Maybe they have one in the contracts that we're just missing that they need to sign. But this is good for them. Very well done for Pi. Poe had a, I guess you could say They weren't as special as some of the others. Yeah, they're lacking a little bit of depth. Couple injuries, but nothing really special. No offense, Poe. The Nova Cove. This team is good. Already, they're a contender. And looking at their contracts, Stutzel, they haven't signed. Yossi, they haven't signed. I mean, with Stutzel and Yossi, this could be a cup-winning team. Blackwood, when he comes home for injury, he's replacing a very capable Trey Augustine, as we've seen, not in the NHL, but in the World Juniors, which there will be a tournament here. Tournaments, we do have World Cup and World Juniors. The World Cup is next year, though. World Juniors is this year. And as we move on to the third to last team we'll be looking at today, the Seattle Cyphers. Middle of the pack, I'd say. Contender, yes. Defense, great. Goaltenders, capable 100%. Maybe Wall goes above Lyon after his injury. But you don't have other than Bedard, you don't really have a 90 overall forward. He will go up. He's very young, Bedard. We take a look here. Oh, no, we can't yet. But when we take a look in our next video of his stats and his progression, he will go up. Second to last team is Claude. Claude had the second overall pick. And for their pick, they went with McKinnon. Their issue, lacking defense depth. Yes, they have contracts. They only have $22 million in cap. They need another goaltender, unless you think Comesso can do it. Their depth on forwards is great, but will the defense and goaltending let them back? And the last team, a team I was very interested in, a team very well done offensively. I say that because look at their defense. Jacob Trouba is the highlight of your defense. Your goaltender's out for 2 months. That brings you to November. You have nobody. Yes, they are going to majorly need something from the contract and maybe something from free agency. But with $20 million in cap, will we see our first trade? Trading off someone contract heavy like Boldy, Hopkins, Robertson even. Fiala, second line, almost $8 million for 4 years. Kachuk, $10 million and he's injured for 3 months. Parkov, $10 million and he's injured for 268 days. 238 days. Yeah, he'll go on long-term injury reserve, but does his cap still hurt the team is going to be the question. Can you hold on to him? Anyway, guys, that is it for the rest of the draft. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe. This has been an insane fun to make. Insanely fun to see these AI, where they go. And tomorrow, because of the way I set this up, we are simming through the preseason, right up until the regular season. And what's on the mind? Free agency, highlighted by some insane players. And contract development, also highlighted by some insane players. This is where ChatGPT, with 37 million, and a couple other teams will be thriving. Have a nice day, and I'll see you tomorrow.